Hi, I'm Andrea, owner of Andrea Lewis Events. Today we began a 7-week wedding planning segment on ABC 24. It will broadcast every Monday between now and February 14th at 11:30 a.m. Every Monday, however, in case you missed it, in case you were at work, we will have this lovely video for you to watch on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/A-Lewis-Events, and you can also go to our blog and be linked there, and that is theplannerpages.com. So today we talk about money, money, money. What is the first thing you want to do when you begin planning your wedding? The first thing you need to do is decide what the formality of your wedding is going to be. Are you going to have a seated meal, action stations? Are you going to have a cocktail reception, black tie? There are so many options, and you can mix and match. It is your wedding. Do what you want, but decide that first before you go and visit any vendors, any venues especially. Make sure you know the formality of what you want. The next thing that you want to do is get everybody together who is going to pay for this lovely affair. So you and your fiance, your parents, and typically grandparents will contribute some money to their grandchildren's wedding. So anyone who is going to have their checkbook in hand, everyone needs to sit down. And if the dynamics of your family don't work for everyone sitting down together, that's okay. You can still have the individual meetings. Sit down with your parents. If you're the bride, you and your fiance sit down with the bride's parents, and then you sit down with the groom's parents and get together how much money you're going to have to plan the wedding. Now, once we have that in place and we have a working budget, now it's time to create the spreadsheet. So a lot of internet sites will give you budgets that you can use, but a lot of times they're very general and they leave out some elements that would really make your wedding your own. So I suggest creating your own and just kind of flowing with it to make it yours. A lot of times the internet spreadsheets will say decor, but then it won't tell you what decor is. And so depending on your wedding, decor could be centerpieces and lighting and renting chairs and renting lounge furniture. All of that is considered decor. So you really have to think about every element that you want to have in your wedding and then put that under decor. So just kind of sit down and have these, what I call the serious talks. I call them the talks that aren't so much fun. I know you're engaged and you're super excited and you want to run out and get everything done, but I promise you will still have a great planning experience if you sit down and get all of your money, get all of your paperwork together first, and then go out and you can have the fun, because you'll know how much fun you can have within each category, and you will not have what I call the dreaded S word. You will not have that stress while planning your wedding. So now we know the formality, we know who's paying and how much they are paying, and we have our spreadsheet. So the next thing we want to look at is, now that we know how much money that you're going to spend, now it's time to decide how many guests can you afford to have at your wedding. It's very important not to plan in the opposite way and say, unless you have unlimited funds. You don't want to go in and say, I'm going to invite 400 people to my wedding, and then you only have a budget of, maybe say $25,000. That's just pretty much in any market, 400 guests and $25,000 probably is not going to work. So, you know how much money you have. Now decide, how many guests can I afford to have at my wedding? Next week, we are going to talk about how to pare down the guest list a little bit more. So we'll get into that more later. So, and then finally, I want you to be realistic about your requests. If you, let's say, fall in love with the flower called peony, it is a gorgeous fluffy spring flower. It's actually my favorite, but it blooms between April and June. And if you're getting married in December and you say, I absolutely have to have a peony, Well, you need to be prepared to pay for that to be shipped in from an overseas country, or even from some growers in California, if you can even get it in. So just things like that. Just make sure that you are realistic about what it is that you want for your wedding. So now we've got all the boring stuff down, we've got all the paperwork, and we've got our numbers together. So next week we're going to start talking about the guest list and a little bit more, and then we'll get into food and locations and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a great series, and hope you tune in every week right now. So www.alewisevents.com. This is Ariel, my publicist. She was giving me notes because I forgot to say my website. So there you go. And she also wanted this to be real. So there you go. So, www.alewisevents.com. That's our website. www.theplannerpages.com. That's our blog. I know this is a lot of information. But also www.youtube.com/alewisevents. So you go to one, you can find the rest of them. You don't have to remember them all. Just remember one of them, and everything will take you back to the other one. So happy planning, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.